Large-scale enterprise transformation projects usually begin in a state of high fragmentation. Teams are forced to work across hundreds of disconnected business goals and requirements. Information is scattered across isolated process models, ticket systems that haven't been opened yet, and unanchored AI outputs that lack a central reference point. This pre-delivery chaos ensures that the original business goal is distorted before the first line of code is written. Without structure, the intent of the project dissolves into guesswork. Standard development tools are designed to track the execution of tasks, not to organize the logic of requirements. They manage the how of building that they struggle to preserve the why. When business intent is spread across disconnected systems, the logical connection between a goal and its implementation snaps. The original requirement drifts away from the actual work being done. Architectural failure is often a direct consequence of this broken intent at the foundation layer. ALManac operates specifically in the pre-delivery environment. It acts as a structural gate for requirements, traceability, and architecture handoff before they reach your delivery tools. It functions as a governance layer designed to enforce structural order. It takes the disorganized noise of the intake phase and forces it into a controlled model. By acting as a filter, the system ensures that only validated, reviewed logic is allowed to proceed to downstream delivery and architecture teams. This control relies on an explicit requirement chain, from epics down to acceptance criteria. Each requirement tethers backward to original source evidence, ensuring no isolated items exist. Finally, the chain extends forward, binding these requirements directly to user journeys, UI components, and process models. Unbroken traceability makes scope drift visible. When the path from a request to a component is explicit, the gaps where intent usually disappears are closed. Linked data only provides value if the underlying logic is sound. Even a perfectly traced requirement can be flawed in its intent. ALManac provides analytical lenses, context, impact, coherence, and why, to inspect the quality of the data. These views allow analysts to see the deep lineage of every decision. These lenses let humans catch logical anomalies before the architecture handoff. They provide a way to verify that the requirements actually make sense as a coherent system. AI can accelerate this analysis, but allowing automated systems to directly modify a business model introduces severe risk. An error in an automated extraction could corrupt the entire governance record. ALManac keeps AI-assisted drafts and code-derived findings in a strict proposal-only state. These suggestions remain quarantined until a human reviewer chooses to promote them. AI provides the structural suggestions, but human review remains the final gate for the canonical record. Safely sharing this data with external partners requires clear boundaries. You need to provide interoperability without exposing the internal logic of the product engine. The system is organized into 3 zones: the private core runtime, the orchestrated guided layer, and a strictly limited public layer. This public facade uses synthetic samples for external interaction, while the private runtime remains completely protected in the core. This model allows for market readiness and partner collaboration without the risk of accidental exposure of internal data. When we look at this from a board level, we have to ask how this governance translates into value. The repository shows a codebase of over 240,000 lines and nearly 400 automated tests. By these metrics, ALManac has reached a state of internal product maturity. However, there is currently no evidence of external customer adoption or recurring revenue. The internal maturity has increased, but the commercial risk remains unchanged. Because of this, the valuation is anchored in replacement cost. We are measuring the value of the asset itself, not speculative future revenue. ALManac de-risks the build of a complex transformation, but it has not yet reached the commercial milestones required for a market-backed valuation. ALManac is the governed bridge between raw business intent and actual delivery execution. While internal control does not guarantee market success, it provides the foundational order required for any complex architecture-led delivery to succeed.